Last night in their first game back from the break, the green and gold shined at the Coliseum. Their ace, Sonny Gray, has regained his all-star form and is pitching at the highest level. A few veterans added some offense, and the defense shined, all equaling an A's Game 1 victory over the American League's defending champion, Cleveland Indians. Tonight, it's Bay Area native Paul Blackburn on the hill for the A's, as he has had a great start to his Major League career. And tonight, he faces off against former Cy Young winner Corey Kluber. It's Game 2, A's, Indians, next. Beautiful night for baseball at the Coliseum, and it's a night where we're going to honor Rickey Henderson. It is Rickey Henderson night. He's in the house, of course, a little all-star hug, and tonight the A's got their hands full, though, as they face one of the best in the American League. That's Corey Kluber. It's the Oakland A's and the Cleveland Indians coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. So you saw Kluber. The A's are going to send the young right-hander Paul Blackburn to the mound. And Ray, he's been pretty good in his two starts. It's interesting. Not a big strikeout guy, a little bit of a dart thrower, but he's also got a pretty good sinker.
You know, he was supposed to make one start, maybe go back to AAA, but he's been pitching so well. He pitched against the Braves. How about the introduction Dick Callahan gave him, the local young man? He pitched well against the Braves, which got him another start against the Seattle Mariners. But he's got some great pitches. He does pitch to contact, and because of that, he's going to get ground ball double plays as he got in Seattle. He got a couple of them, but when you throw and face 15 batters and you throw 3 or fewer pitches to those 15, that means you're going to be pitching late in a ball game. He did it, picking up his first Major League victory.
Well, Corey Kluber is the ace for the Indians. He won the Cy Young in 2014. Ray, last year, an 18-game winner, and he's a strikeout guy. He's got a nasty breaking ball.
Well, the curveball is his best pitch. He pitched against the A's early part of June. He beat them there. He struck out batters. He's been striking out a lot throughout his career. He'll do it again probably tonight. At least try. There's the good curveball. He's been pitching very well since that June 1st start against the Athletics. But the one thing about him, if he gets some runs, which Sonny Gray actually shut him out back in 2015, he was on the opposite side. That's about the way you beat him, because if he gets any run support, he's going to be pretty good, and especially with his outstanding breaking pitch.
All right, so the A's got a shutout last night in Game 1 of the series. They'll try to slow down the Indians again in Game 2. So Blackburn and Kluber is your pitching matchup. We'll have lineups at first pitch when we come back. It is Rickey Henderson night here at the Coliseum. Should be fun. Stick around.
On NBC Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
So that is Paul Blackburn, who's going to be making his third big league start. He's trying to make it 2 in a row over the Cleveland Indians. It's a warm night here at the Coliseum and a beautiful night for baseball. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 78 degrees. A little muggy, as we like to say, right?
Too much. Too muggy. This is Oakland. This is not Midwest where it's really muggy.
All right, here's the starting lineup tonight for the Cleveland Indians. A lineup that looks very much like last night because it's the exact same thing. Zimmer, Lindor, Brantley, Encarnacion, Ramirez, Santana, Gomes, Naquin, and Gonzalez. That's the Indian starting lineup.
So that means Bruce Maxwell knows exactly what Paul Blackburn needs to do tonight. And that is do what he did in his last start against the Seattle Mariners, but he picked up his first major league victory. Throw strikes, pitch to contact, and as his pitching coach Scott Emerson said, he attacked the hitters, and that's exactly what he did.
Here's the defense behind Blackburn. Davis, and Joyce in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, Alonso on the infield, and Bruce Maxwell is the catcher. So we're set for baseball as Bradley Zimmer steps in.
Maxwell doing a little house yard cleaning out in front. There was something that he threw to the side. Christian now is picking it up. I don't know what was on the field, but it's no longer there.
So Blackburn's first pitch of the game, a touch outside to Zimmer, Lindor, and Brantley for the Indians. 5-0 win last night for the Athletics. They picked up their third shutout of the year. And a very well played game by the Athletics. Very clean. Well, a shutout will make a scorebook look pretty good.
Absolutely, and especially against a very good hitting team and a very good team, the Cleveland Indians.
Sonny Gray picking up the win last night. His 5th of the year. Here's the umpires. Doug Eddings will call balls and strikes. Laz Diaz, Jeff Nelson, Corey Blazer. That is Jeff Nelson. He's at second base, and he is your crew chief. A little bit inside, 2-2. So we're seeing Blackburn for the third time, Ray, and he's been good the first 2 times.
And I think you described it perfectly. Kind of a dart thrower because he's around the plate. He's not overpowering with any of his pitches. And there's a good changeup and off the end of the bat. Zimmer staying alive, but he just is around the plate. And 3 foul balls already by Zimmer, and really not really attacking the ball. And that's what Blackburn does so well. He attacks the hitters.
Another 2-2 to Zimmer. And a swinging strikeout. So in the wonderful world of baseball, Paul Blackburn in his last start doesn't strike anybody out. Tonight, the very first hitter he strikes.
That's so appropriate. 4 in his start against the Braves and 1 already against the Indians. See the hesitation. Zimmer got his front foot out and then tried to make contact, but the ball was by him.
Pitchcast is brought to you by Penn Fed Credit Union. So with 1 out, here's Francisco Lindor.
That game that Blackburn left and had 7-1 lead. That's when Danny Valencia hit the 3-run home run in the 9th inning. Made it a 7-4 game. Young man trying to get his first major league victory. Figured he had it easily after going 7 2/3 innings. And that was the game that Chapman was not being held at first with a 6-run lead. Turned out to be a tight game in the 9th inning. But tonight for Blackburn pitching in front, he's got to be thrilled tonight with Ricky Henderson, his night, because he's in that era where he's grown up watching guys like Ricky Henderson. So he's got to be thrilled. Ricky throwing out the first pitch.
There's the Ricky Henderson number 24 jersey. I actually saw number 35 Henderson.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody was down below. They brought one out of the archives.
Well, if you see a number 39 Ricky Henderson jersey,
Yeah.
then you got, wasn't that his very first
right.
number?
I think Ricky got to the point that Ricky could do anything he wanted to do and ask for anything he wanted. But he threw a strike to Rajai Davis tonight. Ceremonial first pitch. Thunderous applause by the people on hand tonight.
Slowly hit toward Lowry. Lowry's got it, and that's out number 2.
Time now for the Nissan keys of the game, and for Paul Blackburn, and of course he pitches so well he stayed in the rotation and tried to do it again tonight. Remember, supposed to be 1 and maybe back to the minor leagues, but this is his third major league start, and for the kids, building confidence with the wins in a game like they had last night against the Cleveland Indians. For the young players, that is a great feather in their cap to be able to win. That young man last night, Matt Chapman, Yan Gomes admitted, he said, that kid can run. I said, yes, he's got pretty good instincts, because Yan blocked a ball behind the plate and admitted that he thought he was going to block it enough that Chapman was not going to run. And he got burnt because Chapman did score with great instincts.
So 0-1 to Michael Brantley. Brantley right at 300 with 5 home runs, 37 RBIs. Indians only had 4 hits last night, 3 singles and a double. Brantley did not have any hits. He did reach base a couple times. He walked and he reached on an error. But not much offense last night for the Indians. That one's hit right up the middle. Simeon's got it. He gets up. His throw to first is not going to be in time. So it'll be an infield hit for Brantley.
The one thing about Blackburn, he is a pitch to contact. Had 12 ground ball outs in the start up in Seattle. This one on the ground, as was Lindor's. Nice play, but Brantley too much speed, and for Marcus Semien made it a close play with the dive up the middle, but he did not get up very quickly, and I think that's what hurt him right there. Stumbled a little bit, off balance throw, and I guess if he comes up with it cleanly and up throwing, he might have gotten him. Still made it a very close play. Nice effort by Marcus Semien.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. First pitch, breaking ball, strike to the cleanup hitter Edwin Encarnacion.
Blackburn using a nice slide step, which is always beneficial for a pitcher, catcher, especially with any base runner who might be attempting to steal.
A little bit low. So all those ground balls means Blackburn's, got a little sinker. I would not say it's a power sinker,
no.
But if you think about a sinker, Ray, even if it's got just a little bit of sink to it, even if the pitch is up in the strike zone, it still has a little downward movement. So I think you can maybe miss somewhat with location, but because it still has just a little bit of that downward movement, you still get ground ball. Fastballs and sliders, he'll mix in a curve occasionally. So it's really pretty basic stuff from Blackburn.
Well, it's not so overpowering that, just to your point about a pitch that's up high, you see it, you get on top of it, and you hit the ball on the ground.
That's exactly.
And because, if it's good velocity, he might be throwing by guys, as he did with Zimmer, the pitch that was up.
I guess the point I'm making is, even if the pitch is up a little bit, if it is still sinking a little bit, you're still okay.
Absolutely.
But you don't want it to straighten out when it gets up either.
Right. Especially if it's only 90, because that's going to be hit far and hard, especially by somebody like this guy.
2-2 to Encarnacion. Brantley runs pretty well. Ball is fouled right side.
Blackburn 104 pitches in his start in Seattle, 7 2/3 innings.
.96 pitches in his first start against Atlanta when he went 6 innings.
He had 4 strikeouts. He threw a lot of pitches.
Yep.
Struck out too many.
When you go for those strikeouts. Off the plate now, 3-2, and that will get Brantley on the move.
Staying with the slider to Encarnacion. Is waiting on deck is Ramirez. But the problem with Encarnacion, you get the ball up, you want it down and away, get him try to chase a pitch away from it.
Runner goes, the ball is drilled. Joyce is there and he makes the catch. So a hard hit ball by Encarnacion, but nothing to show for it. Runner left. Here come the A's in the bottom of the first. Lineup for them is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and it, like the Indians lineup, same as last night. Joyce, Simeon, Alonso, Davis, Lowry, Healy, Maxwell Chapman, and Rajai Davis. So both teams going with the same lineup.
And it is the veteran right-hander Corey Kluber, and a late bloomer, if you will. He signed in 2007, and Kite mentioned a Cy Young Award winner a couple of years ago, but his first start off the DL came against the Athletics. That was in Cleveland on June the 1st. And shut out the Athletics, did not allow a run in 6 innings of pitching, just a couple of hits, 10 strikeouts. Of course, that was a series that seemed like A's striking out 10, 15 times a game.
First pitch to Joyce is a touch high. Joyce at 222 with 11 home runs, 34 runs batted in. He was 1 for 3 last night. He had a big hit, an RBI double in the 3rd inning. He knocked in the A's first run.
Just as important, more of that getting to third base as we talked about on the A team last night following the A's victory. It was on the throw to the plate. Joyce able to get to third base, a double, and getting to third on the throw, and up scoring a sac fly by Marcus Semien. Kluber, the good curveball, but also a cutter that he just threw. Kind of a combination cutter slider.
Foul territory. Michael Brantley over, and it's going to bounce first row behind the A's bullpen. Brantley chatting with some of the guys he may face later on in the game.
Rajai Davis on first base. This ball in the gap right center, and Rajai scoring from first base. Scored a couple of runs, a throw to the plate. And that's when Joyce went to third base. Yan Gomes throwing from his knees. And Matt Joyce coming up with a big hit, driving in Rajai Davis. Good night for Rajai as well. By the way, Matt Joyce just swung at the same pitch. It was called a ball. First pitch of the at bat. There's the cut fastball.
So 3-2 with Simeon to follow, and then Alonso here in the bottom of the first. Strike 3 called. That's a nasty pitch. So one away here in the bottom of the first. Let's take a quick look at the Indians defense. Brantley, Zimmer, and Naquin in the outfield. Ramirez, Lindor, Gonzalez, Santana on the infield with Yan Gomes doing the catching.
Yeah, Kluber throws the pitch that he just struck out. Troy, that's a no chance. Look at this ball, how much it comes back. It's like a left-hander throwing a slider. And all you have to do is get the hitter to buckle his knees, and he's done. Pitching up in the zone the way Kluber is could be dangerous, but sinking fastball is unbelievable.
So that pitch, and then that's not even his best pitch.
No.
So that's why he's really good. His ERA is third best in the American League. He's sixth in the league in strikeouts. The league is hitting .202 against him. That's second best in the league. So he's the real deal, folks.
And that's why if you can, in this case Paul Blackburn, shut down the Indians offense, your club comes and scores a couple of runs. A game that Sonny Gray beat him in 2015 was a Stephen Vogt 2-run home run, end of game, 2-0. That was it.
And that's the way you got to beat Kluber.
Exactly.
If he's pitching well, you just got to run into one, hope he makes a mistake.
Just as important, take a few of those. No, it's going to be caught.
Gonzalez gets back there, reaches up to make the catch.
But your pitcher has to shut down the offense, and you know, unfortunately, pitchers like Sonny Gray last night, 100 pitches in 6 innings. You're thinking you're going to get to the bullpen. Carrasco last night, 5 1/3, he threw 95 pitches. Corey Kluber, since the start on June the 1st, he has been pitching very well. Pitch count has been down, allowing him to pitch deep in ball games.
He has struck out 10 or more in 5 of his last 6 games. So see a little giddy up on the fastball.
When you look at the velocity, you think it's about 102. It was 92, but just because he's sneaky, kind of short arms the pitches. Number 21 for Yonder Alonso last night on a pitch middle plate in. He wanted to go up, left it in the middle of the plate. Yonder did not miss it. 21 for Yonder. So Rajay Davis is third. What a season for Yonder Alonso.
Yonder now tied for 7th in the American League with the 21 home runs.
See, today is the 15th of July. Trading deadline July 31st for non-waiver. So we shall see.
Just barely got a piece of that.
I think there's going to be a lot of talk around baseball the next couple of weeks.
Well, and in the world we live in today, it's full of rumors, and they're
right.
starting already. But you're right. It's the rumor mill is just going to churn faster and faster each day. Some of it will be true. A lot of it will not be true. Santana to Kluber, side retired. So Corey Kluber with a 3-up, 3-down. First inning, no score after 1 from the Coliseum. score. While Blackburn gave up a hit in the first, he had a strikeout. He faces Ramirez, Santana, and Gomes. First pitch in for a strike to Jose Ramirez, who was 1 for 4 last night. He had a 2-out double in the 9th inning. Overall, a .331 batting average.
As we were talking last night, the difference in the 9th inning. He's at a 5-0 lead. Santiago Casilla with a 3-2 count. He knew he was going to get a fastball. He got it, hit a double. A little bit different now early in the game as far as what he's going to see from Blackburn.
Well, how hot has Jose Ramirez been? The last 41 games, he has a .401 batting average. Seriously? That's not like a week. That's a month and a half. He's second in the league in hitting, .331 behind Jose Altuve, who's hitting .349. Not this time, as Blackburn drops a breaking ball down around the knees. Strike 3 call.
Backdoor slider and perfectly thrown. Ramirez knew it. Doug Eddings got to show off his strike 3 call.
First baseman.
Yeah.
Number
Here's your
41.
backdoor breaking ball. See the rotation.
Santana.
And Ramirez taking all the way outside corner, and you know where Bruce Maxwell actually brought the ball up, but you can see it where it crossed the plate. It was a strike, at least according to Doug Eddings.
Swing and a miss by Carlos Santana. Switch hitting first baseman. .235 with 10 home runs, 47 RBIs. Santana as a left-handed hitter .247, as a right-handed hitter .215. He's never been a high average guy, but he's a run producer.
And usually very patient with the
Yep.
plate, takes some walks. This year maybe not so much.
We've seen him at times in the leadoff spot.
That's right.
Not a lot, but once in a while. It's also decision time for the Indians on Carlos Santana. He's a free agent, and he's a pretty good player.
This is a pretty good pitch, okay? Right there in the corner, not called.
I would have called.
Yeah.
2-2.
Great change.
He's been with the Indians since in the big league since 2010, and he's had very good seasons. Career ranks 12th in franchise history in home runs, 18th in doubles. What do you think, Ray? He's 31 years old, decent at first, switch hitter, run producer. He's going to get paid.
Well, 31 these days is not old. Used to be ancient, but not anymore. How about a change up again?
Strikeout machine.
3 strikeouts. Unbelievable. But pulling the string nicely to get Santana. The ball just floating away from him. And that is a great pitch. It looks so good to Santana, but then way out in front. But I always think about when pitchers say, or people will say, you're facing Corey Kluber. In essence, he's not. But what Blackburn has to realize, Corey Kluber's not going to give up much. And that's when you're facing a team with a good pitcher that your offense might not score that many. In essence, you are facing the pitcher because he's not going to give up much. Well, Blackburn so far has not given up anything himself.
Facing Yan Gomes with 2 outs here in the second. Long run for Alonso into foul territory, and Yonder Alonso makes the catch. Side retired, nicely done, and that's not an easy play. There's some sunshine up there staring down at Yonder Alonso.
California Ford dealers, we get out of the way early because of a great play by Yonder Alonso over the shoulders down near the foul line and reaches up over his shoulders and brings it down. And Kyle, you're exactly right. That sun he had to look up into, but when you have your back to the infield and make a play like Yonder just did, that's worthy of a smart play of the day already in the second inning. Great play.
Chris Davis to lead it off here in the bottom of the second inning. He'll be followed by Lowry and Healy.
Should have said something referencing football since that's kind of a great play down.
I actually thought about that.
I knew you did.
And as I'm thinking where he caught it, that's like right around the goal line.
That's right.
Right in front of the black hole. Actually, it's not quite goal line, but I'm guessing maybe the 10-yard line. Keep your feet in. Isn't Marshawn Lynch throwing out the first pitch tomorrow? Did I hear that? Oh, beast mode, Ray. Beast mode.
Only you would know.
Beast mode will be here.
You got to go down and catch it?
No.
Come on, man. Why? So
Yeah. No, he scares me, man.
well, if you call him beast,
he scares me.
I mean, just that name alone would scare somebody.
Swing and a miss by Davis, so that's the second strikeout for Corey Kluber.
Well, look at the breaking ball, and you'll see there's this lot from the right-hander throwing to the right-handed hitters. Yan Gomes outside looks good, but just drops out of sight.
Number 8.
See the tumbling? Yeah, that's the dot, and that's the slider dot. He's also got a good 12-6 curveball. But once again, at 92, seems like it's about 100 miles an hour. Just a sneaky fastball. I think the hitters look and think so many breaking pitches, and now with the scouting reports, this percentage of curveballs and sliders and changeups thrown, that you get a fastball at 92 that's normally a pretty good hitting speed. And they're swinging through it. We've seen it twice already.
1-1 to Lowry. Foul. So saw that last replay, and we talk about the dot a lot. Now watch this. Now, it's really technically it's probably not like a dot. It's more like maybe the size of a small dime.
Yes,
but it's spinning is
right.
what it's
the spinning, and the reason they call it the red dot is because the red seams that when it spins, you're going to see something that that looks like a dot. But I mean, the bottom line, if you pick up the spin and you can see the red spinning, it's going to be breaking away from it. Slide.
Now, if the tighter the break, the smaller the dot.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
Smaller the circle.
It's almost like I don't know if a cutter breaks as much as a slider, but a real tight slider will create more of a distinguished dot.
Almost a dot. Yeah.
Yeah, the red dot. But Kluber does throw the slider, which would create the dot, but also a cut fastball, which does not have similar. So the fastball and curveball and cutter. So you're looking at the fastball cutter at 68% of the time. Those are both very good pitches. And then you throw a curveball on top of it, change up. That's a pretty good assortment of pitches that he could throw. The surprising thing, you talked earlier, I think when we were Cleveland, about he was acquired as three-team with the Padres, but he was drafted in 07. This is 2017, and you really have only heard about Corey Kluber the last 3 or 4 years, if that. But that's how long it took for him to develop into the quality pitcher that he is right now.
Yeah, in 2013, he joined the rotation, kind of got to the big leagues full time, and was pretty good, 11-5. But then 2014, that's when he won the Cy Young. So you're right, really, the last 3 years, and this one being the 4th year where he's been the guy.
Yeah. You know, it's almost like what they used to say about a pitcher. I went 500 to 600 innings in the minor leagues, and for a hitter, 1,000 at bats.
Sure.
And it's like he went through that period of time, but now you're seeing young players who hardly have any minor league experience, pitchers or position players, and if they're any good, they're good to the big leagues.
Tyler Naquin over to his left. He's got it. So 6 up, 6 down so far for Corey Kluber. No score after 2.
A's fans.
The 18th, this event in the Eastside Club features current and former players along with TV and radio personalities. Special guests serving root beer floats to you. Proceeds from this event go to the A's Community Fund. You can get your tickets to the game at athletics.com/tickets. Interest in the event begins at 4:30 and is free. How about that? And so is game parking. So get there early on July the 18th, this coming Tuesday, root beer float day. And that means we're going to get a sampling of those root beer floats pretty soon.
I hope so.
Heather's going to be bringing them up.
I hope so.
Yeah, because they are delicious.
We sure enjoy it.
And if you've never been to a root beer float day, get there. You got a chance maybe see Shooty in his, what was that shirt he was wearing?
Well, it wasn't enough of a shirt, but that was a while back.
The muscle shirt.
Line drive and a base hit for Tyler Naquin. So it is Ricky Henderson night here at the ballpark, and that is the giveaway, and it's pretty darn sweet. Big hits here, and the main man is here. He threw out the ceremonial first pitch, so Ricky still looks great. And the fans, they adore Ricky Henderson, as they should.
A local young man born on Christmas Day. And you know, when you're standing next to the skipper, I bet the skipper was saying, can you play?
Sure.
And Ricky said, Ricky can play.
Ricky thinks Ricky can still
right.
play.
And Ricky probably could.
It's always fun to have Ricky Henderson in the house, and he's here quite often.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb, Kite, that when the big heads race, if Ricky doesn't win tonight, Ricky should never win. I mean, it's his night. He should win every night.
If Ricky doesn't win, Ricky's going to be mad that Ricky didn't win. Because Ricky should win.
That's right. I mean, of all nights, it should be his win.
Want to know the count to Eric Gonzalez. Naquin with the leadoff single. He's got good speed at first. And he goes. Swing and a miss. Maxwell's throw. Not quite in time. Throw was a little high. Still very close.
Well, they're going to take a look at it, I think. See if he got him on the backside before he got to. If he tagged him, he's out. Because his hand wasn't on the bag when he tagged him on the backside. Better shot. There, he's out. He's out. And that's why they're going to take a look at it. And I think it should be a reversal right here because he got him. And the hand was not on the bag. You see, Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire, is blocked out a little bit. Right there, as Jeff is blocked, he cannot see the hand. See, the right hand, if it got there first, he's probably safe. But the right hand went around the bag. So Naquin, yeah, he even Bruce Maxwell is saying, let's take a look at it. He's the catcher through the ball.
I think you're right, though. And you know, the umpire has to try to get in a position very quickly. That's not easy to do, but you're right. It looked like where he was standing, that Lowry was probably blocking the view of the runner's left hand. And again, it's not easy to find the right spot because you don't know where the defender's going to be.
So he can't see the hand. Lowry did block him off.
And to his credit, you saw he moved to try to get a better view, did Jeff Nelson.
And they called him out. So there goes the clock stealing. Nice tag by Jed Lowry on the high throw, like you said. But, you know, in really good defense of Jeff Nelson. Now, see, he's going to go back to the outfield grass. There's nobody on base. When there's a runner at first, the second base umpire comes in between the pitcher's mound and second base to get a better look. But like you said, he can only move so much with the throw coming in. And that's why, as the old saying goes, you want to get it right. The old challenges.
Just foul. You know, and as you sit up here, Ray, and you look out there and you just wonder what is the best spot for an umpire to be in. Naquin actually looked like he slowed down a little bit.
Well, it was a hit and run.
Yeah.
But again, if you can show that again, Diller, because his right hand goes past the bag, then his left hand tags it. So if the right hand had gotten in first, he probably would have been safe. But maybe he just wanted to go outside of the bag by doing that. What a play.
Blackburn underhands to first, and that's the second out.
Now watch the right hand on this slide by Naquin. See the right hand? Watch where it goes and where the left hand is. So the left hand's going to the bag. His right hand is already past the bag when he gets tagged. And maybe if he's to the outside, he could only go in with his left hand because he's going to the back of the bag. But see the right hand? It's already past him, and there's the left hand, and that's when he's called out. You also have to be concerned about your fingers going into the hard bag.
That's the scary part.
Yep. As Mike Trout found out, Mike is back, and good to see that he is back playing again. Sure, there's a few pitchers around the league aren't happy, but the Angels have to be.
Zimmer struck out swinging in the first.
See, those are the little plays that in a game like this where it could be pitching dominant. That the hit and run, not surprising to see that Tito went to the hit and run with Gonzalez up and Naquin on first, trying to get something started at the bottom of the order. So for the caught stealing to occur, nice play then on the next play by Blackburn. And you definitely don't want to lead off single or first and third on a hit and run, because that's usually a pretty good formula for some scoring, in this case for the Indians.
And you don't think replay review doesn't change?
That's exactly right.
What happens in a game? If that call is not changed or corrected, I should say, it's a runner on second, nobody out.
Exactly.
That's why I'm a big believer in.
Now batting, number 12.
It's nothing against the umpires. It actually
They want it right.
makes their job easier, and it gets everything corrected, and then there's no controversy.
Well, and they want to get it right as well, and sometimes they get in a position where they can't get it right or make the call that ultimately is the correct call. And again, early in the game, which is important from Bob Melton's standpoint, Adam Roden, video coordinator, had to make the call. It's early. You lose your challenge, and anything can happen until the 8th inning. And that's when you have to hope for the umpire to challenge something.
So 0-1 the count to Lindor with Zimmer at first. Zimmer's got good speed. We've seen that, and he's a good base stealer. He's 9 for 10. Stolen base. He's got a little lean going. Zimmer, a big tall kid, but he can really run.
He can fly. But I saw the hit and run possibility with Gonzalez swinging a miss with Naquin thrown out, but now with 2 outs, good opportunity, at least an attempt to steal with Lindor. Not only a very good hitter, can be a power hitter, but also a singles hitter if the runner's in scoring position.
Zimmer is 6'5". Well, he sure looks like he wants to go. Chris Davis hustling back in left field. Step onto the warning track, makes the catch, and that will do it. So the A's get a call overturned. That's good news. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. Arms, May 29th through June 1st. It was a 4-game series in Cleveland, and the A's struck out 59 times. That's a franchise record. Bauer had 14 strikeouts as a starter on the 30th. Kluber had 10 as the starter on the 1st. That's a lot.
About 19 in one game of 27 outs.
That's a lot. Game 1, the A's struck out 12 times. Game 2, 19. Game 3, 11. Game 4, 17.
I mean, you think of 27 outs in a game and 19 on punch-outs. Only 8 balls put in play. That's a lot of walking back to the dugout.
Oh, 0-2 to Maxwell. Chapman to follow, and then Davis here in the 3rd. Watch out for that pitch.
He's trying.
Maxwell, a walk, a double, and a ground out last night.
How about that? The two-seamer that starts at the hitter, breaks towards the plate. Then he has the cutter slider that goes down and in to the right hand or left hand.
Close pitch, and now it's 3-2. Strike 3 called inside corner.
Well, I guess the previous pitch was too much down because the movement on that pitch brought it back to the inside corner. And
Batting in the 8th position,
I don't know that was a strike.
Number 26.
But was called by Doug Eddings. When you see a hitter do that, he's done. He's got no chance at that point.
So 1 out for Matt Chapman. When Kluber won the Cy Young in 2014, he was 18-9 with a 2.44 ERA. He pitched 235 innings and had 269 strikeouts. So those numbers add up to a Cy Young. Last year he was 18-9 again, and he finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting. And the good news for the Indians is he has a long-term contract. He's not going anywhere.
Well, and he's fortunate to get it considering his age. I think that was one of the biggest things.
That one left center. Zimmer on the move, and that baby's gone. Matt Chapman has a big league home run.
Just a matter of time, and boy, to see the smile on the face of the skipper Bob Melvin and all the players. And that ball will be retrieved because it's over the score or the wall and in the area if you can get to it before somebody else does.
Let's go.
Come on, Boos, get out there. Let's go.
I got a vision of Boos running through the catacombs of the Coliseum to get that ball with his coaching shorts on. Come on, Boos.
First major league home run for Matt Chapman. And here's the pitch and the hanger. And Matt Chapman, that's his first, but at first of many that he's going to hit at a power position. Look at that swing. And he's not a huge young man. He's just, I mean, he's quick. We saw the speed last night. And here he demonstrates his power. Maybe one of our camera people up there can take a little break and go down and get the ball because it's right below them. And a nice swing by Matt Chapman. Got a hanging breaking ball from one of the best in the game, and Corey Kluber.
One and 0 to Matt Joyce. 1-1 to Matt Joyce. So the A's first hit is a home run.
And Cap, as we talked in Seattle, and ever since Matt Chapman has come back, his defense has probably kept him in a lot of games. And you know, if you struggle at the plate, you don't play solid defense, you're usually going to end up on the bench.
Zimmer into left center field, grabs it. Side retired. First big league home run for Matt Chapman. It's fun to watch, and the A's have a 1-0 lead. His first big league home run. It gives the A's a 1-0 lead, top of the 4th inning. First pitch to Brantley. He shows bunt, and he was kind of leaning out there a little bit, and Blackburn sends one up and in.
Squaring around, that's dangerous, especially with the ball coming up and in. And usually on a squeeze, you see that where the pitcher will throw at the hitter if he is squaring around on a squeeze, but not on a push bunt.
Brantley, excuse me, had a base hit in the first inning. A little bit inside, so Blackburn has opened his big league career, allowing just 1 earned run in 16 2/3 innings, so off to a good start. Maybe we'll revisit that, Ray, when he gets to 1,000 innings. Been a mainstay in the A's rotation for 5 years.
That's right. That's right.
Never know.
And we'll always go back to the great introduction by Dick Callahan, his major league debut.
So Danny Valencia to the Mariners for Paul Blackburn. That was the trade made this offseason by the A's and Seattle. Pitch misses inside, and that's a leadoff walk. So for the first time tonight, let's check in with Angela.
Well, guys, an interesting note on Paul Blackburn, who is a local boy from Brentwood, is that he's actually not the only one. His dad is also Paul Blackburn, as his grandfather, but they don't go by junior or senior. And actually, I ran into his uncle at Bark at the Park yesterday with his dog, and he had mentioned there are other family members who use the name Paul Blackburn. So I'm sure it makes family events quite interesting in the family, or when they get together. Guys, back to you.
That's funny to me. Hey, Paul, come here.
Which one?
Right? I mean,
Well, George Foreman named every one of his sons George.
That's
He's got 8 kids.
Right.
Hey, George, yeah?
And he named his grill George.
And made a lot of money off of the George Foreman grill. Just gave him a free plug. So send us a. Uh-oh.
Very high. Into the corner. Gone. Encarnacion with a towering home run down the left field line, and just like that, the Indians take a 2-1 lead. So the A's lead was short-lived.
Well, the leadoff walk, isn't it amazing? There's your hanger, just like Blackburn. Matt Chapman hit this one a hanger, and you leave it there for this powerful hitter. I mean, it was high and it was far, and it was caught above the barbecue terrace.
And the ball gets thrown back in all the way to the infield.
Wow. I wouldn't do that here. David Renetti. David Renetti, VP of Stadium Operations. He does not like that.
So that is number 19 for Encarnacion. Rajay Davis hustling back. He gets there, makes the catch. So that's the first out here in the top of the 4th.
That had a big sound to it as well.
Blackburn has allowed his first major league home run.
Now batting, number 41.
Shake it off with a little laugh. Chris Maxwell.
Well, he's probably more upset about the walk to lead off the inning. Walked Zimmer with 2 outs last inning. That was on 4 pitches. The one to Brantley was on a 3-2 pitch.
Now he faces Carlos Santana, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. That's going to be a base hit. Joyce charges it, so Santana has his first hit in the series. It's a 1-out single.
Yeah, we talked about this often, where hitters, it's just a breaking ball stayed in the middle of the plate, as same with Encarnacion, but you're seeing a pitcher for the first time. Blackburn just his 3rd major league start. But hitters do talk, and they talk about what a pitch does, and this is the 2nd time through the batting order. And a couple of hard hit balls, actually the one that Lindor hit, or Ramirez hit, was hit quite hard as well.
Gomes hit a pop-up on the first base line that Alonso made a nice play in foul territory. That ended the 2nd inning. Low strike. Blackburn will take it. Will own 1. So the Indians' first 2 runs in this series coming on the Encarnacion home run. Indians are 10th in the league in home runs, so they have not hit a huge amount. That was home run number 104 for them. The A's have hit 128. Off of Maxwell, and Santana will head over to 2nd base. So it's a wild pitch.
Sharp breaking ball, biting very, very hard, and Chris Maxwell get in front. Just hit hard off his chest protector. See the angle in which he was positioned. Watch this. See how he's kind of turned to the left a little bit, and that allows the ball, instead of dropping in front, has that tendency to go a little bit too far away.
Good curveball, and Gomes strikes out. So that is strikeout number 4 for Paul Blackburn. He's walked a pair.
A good curveball. Last night, Gomes got a base hit on a
Now batting, number 30.
A curveball that was thrown. He swung at one. That was way out of the strike zone. This one, a very good 12-6 by Blackburn.
2 outs, runner in scoring position for Tyler Naquin. He had a base hit in the 3rd, lined to single to center. First pitch strike. Indians are 7th in the league in runs scored. As we said, 10th in home runs. They're 9th in stolen bases. A lot of doubles. 2nd in the league in doubles. 4th in slugging. 4th in on base percentage. But maybe not quite as potent as last year offensively. They were 2nd in the league in runs scored last year. Lowry has it. Side retired. Edwin Encarnacion with his 19th home run of the year. It's a 2-run shot. So as we go to the bottom of the 4th, Indians lead 2-1.
Regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to AdNet Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
So A's trailing 2-1, bottom of the 4th inning. Simeon, Alonso, and Davis get set to face Corey Kluber. Kluber with 3 strikeouts. First pitch spins in for a strike to Simeon. And a quick 0-2.
A drop down by Corey Kluber kind of helps him with his curveball, but as he did with Chapman, he got under a little bit with the slider that he hit out for a home run.
And a fastball at 94 miles an hour, and on 3 pitches, Simeon strikes out. All right, warning, curves ahead. We must be talking about the curveball.
Now batting first baseman.
It just gets better and better. Look at the opponent's average. I mean, that really says it all right there. So the average goes down, the whiff percentage goes up. That usually is the way it works. So the curve has just gotten better and better, and it was pretty good when it started.
That's right. So the game on June the 1st. In 6 innings, he had 24 swing and misses.
That's a lot.
That's too many. But that was a series also that the A's struck out a whole bunch of times.
Kind of as a point of reference on swings and misses, stuff I've read about it, if a starting pitcher gets more than 20 swings and misses in a game, that's pretty darn good. So you get 24 in 6 innings.
Yeah.
So if you're at home sometime and you just want to try something new, count swings and misses. And if he gets over 20, that means the guy's being pretty good. A Max Scherzer start.
Yeah.
And if he's on, he may get between 25 and 30.
That's right.
Swing and a miss. So that at bat alone, there was what, two or three of them?
Two, and then Simeon had at least one. This was June 1st, and you're going to see a lot of here. There's one. There's two. I don't think we want to count all 24, but you're going to see a lot of 10 strikeouts. 10 strikeouts, and so you got a lot of swing and misses on those because they were not called strikeouts. They were all swinging, and it was just one of those. No chance. So Mr. Kluber, he did quite well. First start after returning from the DL.
That's a base hit. Chris Davis goes after the first pitch, and it's a 2-out single.
See, I left this pitch up, and it's one that Encarnacion hit for a home run. Same with Chapman.
Now batting
Chris Davis got more on top spin on this one instead of underneath it. And nice to see him get under a ball like that and drive it as far as he can hit it.
So second hit for the A's, and that'll bring up Lowry. Lowry fouled out to third in his first at bat. Swing and a miss.
Those pitches look so good to a hitter, but then next thing you know, it's just dropping out of sight.
Which means the movement is late. Headed for the A's bullpen.
Catch it, Aaron.
Relievers are great, man. They just have the knack where they know whether it's going to hit them or not, and they just sit there. Pretty good in shutdown inning opportunities, Corey Kluber. So 0-2 to Lowry. Right down the middle, Lowry knew it. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Kluber, 6 in the game. Indians 2, A's 1 after 4. Bob Ray Ratto and Kelly Johnson bring you the Happy Hour. Also available to listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. Top of the 5th inning, and the A's trailing 2-1. Paul Blackburn back to work.
Corey Kluber knew exactly what to do when he got 2 runs.
Yep.
3 strikeouts.
That's the scary part with a guy like Kluber. Quick 0-2 to Eric Gonzalez, who grounded out back to Blackburn in the 3rd. Got a hanger, loops it up over the Indians' dugout.
I think it's just remarkable and very satisfying that Paul Blackburn has been able to get the ball, which he did against Atlanta. He did well, stayed in the rotation, picked up the win against the Mariners. Starting again tonight, Ricky Henderson night. A lot of white shirts in the house, and he knows that when he takes the ball every 5th day, he's going to face a team that's always very good about doing things, especially winning and hitting. And that's what the Cleveland Indians are very good about. Ball in the dirt means kicks up, gets dirt in your eyes. I don't think Bruce wears contact, which is good, because that makes it real tough.
Pitch. Bounce to Lowry. And that's out number 1 here in the 5th. And let's check in with Angela.
Well, guys, 24 lucky fans got quite the surprise when they arrived at the Coliseum tonight, and I'm here with some of them right now, including Grandma Betty from Alameda. So, Betty, tell me what happened when you arrived.
Well, we came along and we got our shirts out at the gate. We bought some sandwiches, walked up here, and we said, oh, wow, there's this, your seat has been stolen. And Luke, my grandson, said, what? And we looked at it, and so we got an upgrade. So we were all excited, and the friends that were up there too, they were all excited. Everybody's going like, where are you sitting? So here we are down on the first deck with a bunch of other wonderful people. So it's just fabulous.
Making new friends out here. And how long have you been an A's?
There's Raleigh Fingers. Ricky, I was here when he won the stealing. Right out there in the bleachers, always a bleacher person. So forever. That's all I can say. I've been forever a fan.
Well, what a fun treat, and I hope you guys all enjoy the view out here for all the fans who had their seats stolen. Woo! Guys, we're going to check out the view and the game from here. Back to you.
She was thrilled. Great reaction. She said, I've been an A's fan forever.
Grandma Betty, forever.
That's great.
Like Sandlot, forever.
So Zimmer with the 1-out walk. He's walked twice tonight.
And both on 3-0 pitches. 4 pitch walks to Zimmer twice.
Francisco Lindor.
So here's Lindor. Now you got to be careful. You start to get to the meat of this Indians lineup with 1 out. A's play Lindor just slightly toward left center field. Rajai Davis pushed a couple steps that way. And Lindor, not a real big guy, but lots of power. Got 14 home runs. Runner goes, throw to second base, safe. Zimmer slid hard into the bag.
There's the speed you're talking about, Kai, because big man can run.
Yes, he can.
And he is on the bag. This time Simeon tried to make the tag, but the foot already in, and he hit the bag hard. Look at the right knee buckle a little bit. Left leg came up underneath.
The bag is not going to give.
No, it's not. It will not give. And you know, it kept his hand on the bag. Sometimes on a play like that, if there is a double play attempt, sliding through the bag like that can cause it to be out. Matter of fact, Sandy Alomar Jr. said it's happened 3 times.
Chapman across the diamond, and Lindor is retired, 2 outs. Chapman was playing in a couple steps. That ball hit fairly hard, but he handled it.
You know, the one thing, Bob Melvin, see where Chapman's playing. Typically, the left-hander, you're playing even with the bag on the grass. The skipper said that he hits ground balls to him, and they try to get him to move in on bunt possibilities or a ball with the left. He said, "I'll stay back. I can handle it," and he does. I mean,
you know what? Until he doesn't handle it, then you let him do what he's going to do.
And the fact that he uses his glove and makes the transfer as well as anybody I've ever seen, and he's done it as a rookie, and that's why he's just, you know, Melvin says, "I'll try to hit him to his backside so he has to go back in." He said he's so quick he gets in front of the ball. He said, "I cannot hit one to where he has to backhand the ball." That's quite an accomplishment. And again, going to high school with Nolan Arenado, knowing the young man, if they were the same infield instructor, you have 2 of the best fielding third basemen in all of baseball.
1-0 pitch to Brantley. Strike. Like a changeup drops in on the inside corner. So 1-1 the count. Brantley has singled, walked, and scored a run.
Right over the top of the changeup, and great location. The fact that he takes a lot off velocity wise, which makes it a very effective pitch.
Lowry ranges to his left, throws to first side, retired. So runner stranded at second base. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 2-1. Indians lead.
His 15,000 fans will receive a G-Eazy bobblehead that plays that audio message from the man himself. It's all presented by Majestic. This bobblehead will feature Oakland's own G-Eazy, the world-famous rapper and lifelong A's fan. Plus, he will be at the game throughout the ceremonial first pitch that night. For tickets, visit athletics.com/promotions. We have to get him up here, Kite.
G-Eazy?
Got to see G-Eazy. Got to come up here, right?
Well, you guys have been friends for a long time, so I think it's important that you can introduce me to him.
I need to meet him, man. You know, bring a bobblehead up and say, "G, man, can you sign this bobblehead for me?" Come on, man. G, I'll be on the first.
Are you going to talk like that? Hey, man.
No.
G-Eazy.
Just call him G, huh? Just about G, huh? Think that'll work?
A's need to figure out Corey Kluber. Matt Chapman did. Solo home run in the 3rd. Chapman will hit 3rd in this inning. One and 2 the count. Strike 3 call. There's that. Wow. That two-seamer that tails back into a right-handed hitter. No strikeout number 7. True story brought to you by McDonald's. July July 30th of last year, Bruce Maxwell gets his first major league hit. Happens against the Indians in Cleveland.
And what happened?
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of time to enjoy it.
Get the ball back in.
Yeah.
Josh Reddick.
Who did that? Biggio did it on his 3,000
That's right.
hit, right?
Going for 2 and was thrown out. But he was a doubles machine. I mean, Biggio was. I mean, you got your first hit. Just stop it first and enjoy it. And then he went for 2 and got thrown out. Hit it too hard.
Bruce Maxwell getting a wonderful opportunity to stake his claim on being the A's catcher of the future. I know you keep a close eye on what he does behind the plate. Certainly looks like he's got a pretty good idea at the plate. Not afraid to hit the ball the other way. What do you see from him that you like behind the plate, and what does he need to get better at?
I think more than anything, just the confidence of the pitchers we talked about in our talk with Brody back in the studio, and you know, those things that will come in time. Calling the game probably is the hardest thing. There's so much information that you cannot get away from the job of catching and actually watching a hitter at times, because he'll tell you what he's trying to do. But you got a young staff, and you're seeing some of them right now. Jason Jarrell Cotton expected to come back.
And I mean, is the difference between calling a game at the minor league level and calling the game at the big league level, is it a huge difference?
I think it is, only because you're going to see the hitters up here more regularly, but they're also going to make changes probably more regularly. And I think at the minor league level, you can have a scatter report, and I'm sure they're throughout the minor league level just like it is here, but I think here hitters will change sometimes pitch to a pitch.
Sure.
And at bat to at bat, yes, but you have to be conscious. You might have a game plan and a report on what you're supposed to try to get the guy out, but he knows that as well. And I think that's where the changes have to be made by a catcher to make sure that you're watching the hitter in the event he does make changes.
Chapman slices one down the right field line. He's going to dig for 2. Showing off that great speed. He'll make it easily with a double. So Chapman may have got jammed a little bit, but fought it off, and he's got a 2-out double.
Well, he did fight it off, but you're right about the speed. It's a home run to left center. Hit a triple last night to left center. This time a double to right field. And he saw where it was, and once he took off, he didn't really need to slide. Going after the ball was the right fielder Naquin, but the speed of this young man is unbelievable. I mean, you're thinking power and speed combined. And that's track speed there for you. I mean, his technique is unbelievable.
So see if Rajai Davis can tie up this ball game against his former team. Interesting, Ray, talking to some of the Indians folks about their offense. And they got a lot of good offensive players, but they did say, you know what? We missed what Rajai Davis did for us last year. And Rajai had a good year. He's not having as good of a year this year for the A's, but they said we missed what he did.
That's a great point, because
some energy on the bases. Base hit right field. Naquin has it. Naquin's throw to the plate. Not in time. Throw to second. Not in time. 2-2 ball game.
Two-out magic by the Athletics, and Rajai does it again. He scored 2 runs last night. He hit a home run. This pitch away from him at 92. He goes opposite field, and with 2 outs, Matt Chapman with tremendous speed on the move. And Naquin came up with it, and that right there was ill-advised, even though he hit the cutoff man. But why even throw to the plate? You throw to second and maybe keep Rajai at first base, but Rajai is hustling, going in safely into second base. And he goes to second on the throw, but there's no way. I mean, Matt Chapman has proven he can run. And with 2 outs, he's on the move as soon as contact is made. To throw to the plate, I mean, sure, he hit the cutoff man, but still, that allowed Rajai to get to second base. And Matt Chapman with an opposite field double, same with Rajay opposite field single.
Now Rajay Davis picks up RBI number 14.
Matt Chapman can fly, cuts the bases, and you know that the throw is cut off by Santana.
Now 2-0 to Joyce.
Now the 2-out hits, and we talked about it all the first half of the season. Such an important part of the game, hitting with runners in score position, but especially with 2 outs. And what Rajay did not try to pull the outside pitch, went with it perfectly to right field. And the speed of Chapman ties the game.
Zimmer calls off Brantley. Zimmer has it, and that will do it. But the A's, a 2-out rally, tie it up. So we're headed to the 6th. A's 2, Indians 2. Insider Podcast is back on NBCSportsCalifornia.com. It's brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as our insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. And remember, it's available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Sean Manaea is the guest on our latest. He's insider Joe Stiglitz, the A's Insider Podcast.
Did you know that Sean Manaea with a little facial hair? We saw Sonny Gray last night, some facial hair, and seeing similarities there. As Shauna said, oh, he spent 4 days growing a beard. He said all the starters are. So I think we're going to see something of the starting.
You know what that means, Ray?
No, we're not. See? There it is. Sonny last night. You saw the extended growth on Sonny.
Looks like there's a spot there, though, that Sean Manaea needs a little work on.
Yeah. Kendall Graveman. You see Chris Smith next to him. Chris just happy to be sitting in the dugout.
He's so happy.
Another 4-pitch walk.
So we like talking about Ricky Henderson. Actually, we like putting up his resume because, well, and you know what? That's just 1 page. It could be 4 or 5 pages, actually.
You know, inducted in Cooperstown in '09. Tremendous speech by Ricky Henderson. And when he broke the record for the most runs scored, I think it was with the Padres. If he had had a shovel, he would have dug up home plate. Because he got third base when he broke Lou Brock's record. But I think when he crossed the plate, he just knew that he wanted to dig it up.
See the jersey giveaway, pretty sharp. So 1-0 to Ramirez.
Now, Ricky, the head first slide, as he said, it's like landing an airplane. But it's amazing as many times and many stolen bases he had. Tremendous power also. Most leadoff home runs ever. But it seemed like when Ricky took off, he was at full speed with one step. And Ricky Henderson Field is playing on that and will forever here and the new stadium, which should be announced sometime this year as far as the location.
Liam Hendriks starts to throw.
Ballpark.
So first action in the bullpen for either team. Carlos Santana waits in the on deck circle. Flair headed into foul territory. Foul. 1982.
That's right. Ted Simmons with the pitch out, the catcher. There's the pitch out. There's the throw. Hall of Famer Robin Yount thought he'd gotten him. Nope. 119. There's his mother, and there's Ricky. How about that? See, if they had challenged that, he might have been out.
Yeah, it was close.
Got him on the backside, but
it was close.
See, he and Dwayne Murphy exchanging hugs, and Dwayne Murphy was so good.
So most stolen bases in a season in big league history. So Ricky Henderson 130, had a hard time somebody getting to that because, well, stolen bases just aren't quite as big of a deal anymore. Vince Coleman had a terrific career. Maury Wills won an MVP in 1962.
When he stole 104, I figured that's it. Nobody's going to break that, and Ricky just flew by it. Maury Wills, when we were in Los Angeles about 6 years ago, he was there teaching bunting and stealing bases. But I mean, at one time with Drysdale and Koufax, it was Maury Wills get on base, steal second, steal third, score on a ground ball, 1-0, game over.
Yep,
that was it.
So the guys in the truck just got me this information because I've seen it before. I couldn't remember the exact number. So in 1982, Ricky Henderson steals 130 bases, right, which is an incredible number. He was thrown out 42 times. So the incredible number there is, with the runner going, is that he attempted 172 stolen bases in one season.
And you know,
that's amazing.
I mean, and you know, he didn't steal third that much because he felt he was already in scoring position at second, and he would just stay there. And I mean, he stole third for the record-breaking 939, but I mean, that was almost a given. Once he got a second, he was going to get it over with. But that is an amazing number.
Runner goes again, and the ball's hit into right center field, the base hit. So Encarnacion's going to go easily to third, and the Indians got something going here in the sixth. But we would rather listen to this because this is the late great Bill.
Now batting.
Said Ricky goes, a pitch taken, he's going to have it. He does. Ricky Henderson, no contest, steals third base, jerks the bag from its moorings, and holds it aloft, representing number 939.
Jerks the bag from its moorings and holds it aloft. See, that's why Bill King was great.
And that's why it's the Bill King broadcast booth on the radio side. But his partner at the time, the great Lon Simmons, they both will be in Cooperstown as Bill King at the end of the month will be inducted into the Ford Frick wing of Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and it was Lon Simmons. And never forget him saying, Bill, you're in the Hall of Fame in basketball and football. Here's a chance for baseball. Turned the mic over to him. Bill made the call, and that was the graciousness of Lon Simmons, as we know him well.
Ball grounded. Simeon has it. It's going to get the run home. So a very productive out by Carlos Santana. Gets the run home. Moves Ramirez into scoring position. So the Indians grab the lead back, and it's 3-2.
And Kipe, you think about this play. It was handled by the shortstop on the right side of the infield. There was nobody at second for a possible double play. And see where it is? The ball would have had to been hit to Jed Lowry, and Simeon would have had to go over to second base for a possible double play. But there is just no chance, especially with the shortstop being in the second base position, making the put up.
So Santana gets his 48th RBI.
You would like to have gotten 2 on a ground ball like that if the normal positioning had been applied. And it does put another run in score position.
So 0-1 to Yan Gomes. 95 pitches for Blackburn.
You know, Kai, Ricky Henderson has always made catchers feel great by saying he always stole on the pitchers. I said, Ricky, how many times? He said, Ricky, I always steal on the pitchers because catchers can throw too well. And, you know, there's a lot of truth to it. But for Ricky to say it, I'm a believer. Because he was the all-time greatest that probably will never have the record broken. So what was the attendance?
33,021. A very nice crowd on a Saturday night. Day game tomorrow. Broken bat. Chapman in front of Simeon. So that's the second out with Ramirez going to third. Always an easier play if the third baseman fields it. He's moving in the direction of first base. The shortstop's moving away from first base. So you'd rather have the third baseman make the play if he can.
Right now, Blackburn, and he may be pitching to his last batter, last inning. But like to get this final out and just be trailing by a score of 3-2. First game he pitched, it was 1-1 when he left.
Naquin goes after the changeup. Just got a piece of it as the ball rolls back toward the Indians on deck circle. Tribe has taken the lead here in the top of the 6th. And again, that leadoff walk.
Happened the same thing in the 4th inning after the A's had taken the 1-0 lead. He's tied it last inning. Leadoff walk this inning. He scores.
Up and in. So 4 walks, 4 strikeouts for Blackburn, and 2 of the 4 walks have scored.
Pitch close as Naquin waited quite a while before he moved out of the way.
Try to change up again. Naquin this time lays off that pitch. Hendricks is about ready to go. He's been warming up for a little bit.
So he took off the sleeve of his right elbow because it was not a complete shirt that he had on, but it was just to keep his elbow warm.
2.
It was up, off speed, and a late swing by Naquin.
And that one right over Blackburn's head. Simeon throws, and on a close play they get Naquin at first, and that will do it. But a run for the Indians. So on Ricky Henderson night, he's now trailing by a run as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Oakland A's into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So, hey, it's your voice remote. We got it, Ray. It works. You just say, show me the Oakland A's, and there it is.
You got it?
Yeah, the X1 voice remote. Awesome.
That way you don't even have to use a remote. You just talk, right?
You just talk.
Did you figure it out?
Sure. A couple days it took me. Speaking of figured it out, see if the A's can do it against Kluber's. Now they trail again, 3-2.
I better take the ninth inning, trade about 1 and score 2. That way the Tribe doesn't have a chance to come back. And maybe Kluber, of course, the A's last night did not see the back end of the bullpen.
Gonzalez charges, throws quickly to first. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and it's time to check back in with Angela.
Well, there's a lot of Ricky Henderson jerseys out here tonight, and tomorrow 10,000 lucky fans will be receiving this Rooted in Oakland backpack presented by Ross. It's pretty sweet looking, so you can put all your A's gear in it when you come to the game, and depending on if you're a kid or a parent, you'll be getting your back to school shopping done a little bit early. Guys, back up to you.
All right, always a good gift this time of year. Get you ready for school.
It's going to be starting soon, isn't it?
Yeah. First pitch to Yonder Alonso. Fouls it right over the backstop. Alonso has grounded out, and he has struck out. So Kluber only at 75 pitches. That's a number to keep an eye on. A huge pitch count. Kluber looking for his 8th win of the year. He is 7-3. Fastball away. You mentioned earlier how the velocity of Kluber is not necessarily overpowering, but yet there has to be some deception and some late movement.
Well, there's so many breaking pitches that it throws also that as a hitter you have to think about those, but better also there's a rare changeup. But you also think that if you get a fastball, be prepared to hit it, because as our graph showed, he's going to be 50+% of fastballs. Will throw strikes as he is doing again tonight. 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio.
Yeah, he has not walked anybody. So 9th straight start with 8 or more strikeouts. Maybe a little off the plate, but Yonder Alonso figuring you got to be careful.
Well, he's sneaky and is not opposed to throwing something other than a fastball. He feels very confident, great control with all of his pitches. Fastball in. Jake took it off to throw the curveball.
And there it is. Yonder Alonso missed it. So that is strikeout number 9 for Corey Kluber. 2nd time that he has got Yonder Alonso.
Well, and that's the confidence of throwing more than just the fastball. And we see a lot of times where a pitcher will throw something of a breaking ball variety, change up maybe, and you think that maybe you kind of fool somebody and you don't. Kluber has the control to be able to throw the pitch for a strike even if you don't swing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it seems like very seldom does he hang his breaking ball. And it's a good, sharp, late breaking pitch, but just doesn't seem like it's in the middle of the plate very often.
It's a high two-seam fastball that comes back in the middle of the plate. Like anytime a righty throws a two-seam fastball outside to a right-handed hitter, it's going to come back. You're going to give up on it.
2 pitch that one off the plate at 91 miles an hour.
And one thing Kluber does before every pitch, he usually goes to his mouth and then wipes. That's why an umpire has to be aware, because if he goes to his mouth and doesn't wipe, it's a ball. So every time he throws a pitch, he goes to his mouth. See how much umpires pay attention.
Strike 3 called. Chris Davis spins around. I think he knew it. So 3 up, 3 down inning, and that's 10 strikeouts for Corey Kluber. 7th inning coming up. Break brought to you by T-Mobile. It's Saturday. We go down to the minor leagues. Check in on AAA Nashville. Ronaldo Nunez named the AAA All-Star Game MVP. He hit a 3-run homer. Dustin Herbuck, right-handed pitcher, gets his first AA victory on Wednesday, so he's off to a good start in AA. And Jorge Ruiz, his last couple starts, 2-0, 11 strikeouts, 1 earned run. That's for AAA Stockton. Jorge Ruiz.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for Cleveland, number 9, Eric Gonzalez.
So it's 3-2, top of the 7th inning, and time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So here is Liam Hendricks. I was just looking up Ronaldo Nunez, Ray. He's got 24 home runs and 57 RBIs for AAA. So another power hitter.
Well, they say more of a DH. See if that holds true. Finding a position for him right now for Paul Blackburn. He is out. Celebrated last night, 6 innings, like Blackburn tonight. But Sonny did not give up a run last night. 3 runs. And one thing that Blackburn's got to think about tonight, the walks. The 4 walks, especially 2 of those walks scoring. And the difference in this game.
Matt Joyce getting back and over, and he makes the catch. Gonzalez is retired. First out here in the 7th.
Because I don't think there's any pitcher around who can say he can walk a batter and have that batter score. And look at trailing now by a run. Cook had left the game leading by a run. 2 walks scored, and that's too bad because he's pitched well. A lot of ground ball outs to get. His last 6 outs recorded on the ground for Blackburn.
First pitch to Bradley Zimmer, who's the leadoff hitter, is a strike on the outside corner. Zimmer has a strikeout and a couple of walks. He's also stole the base. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and it's called the ball. Coulomb in the A's bullpen. And just in case things started to rolling for the Indians here. You get a lefty up just in case. Lindor will be next for the Indians. And as Ray mentioned last inning, you always have to worry about that Indians bullpen. That's how good it is.
Well, they have 3. And Kluber, it's going to be hard to get him out of the game. I said, Terry Francona says, you didn't use those back 3. And he said, I will tonight. And that was before he knew he even had a lead. So that's something, if necessary, although Kluber doing the job himself.
Now, when you, as the opposition, have to sort of take into effect
that's right.
the other team's bullpen, that
that's
means
that's right.
It's special. And that is the case with the Indians.
Well, even had a chance to visit with Andrew Miller tonight, and he was talking about the specialization we talk about all the time. But here's a pitcher who last year would come into the 6th inning, 7th inning. And Cody Allen, who stayed on as the closer. But I mean, essentially, when Andrew Miller was with the Yankees, they had Miller, Betances, and Chapman, 7, 8, 9. And Cleveland has basically the same thing. So it's a nice bargaining chip for the manager, Terry Francona, to be able to have.
Zimmer goes after that high fastball, and he strikes out.
Well, a little giddy up on a high fastball, and that's the velocity we talked about earlier, that a pitcher, if he has the velocity, he can throw it upstairs, and it's a tough pitch for a hitter to try to get on top. Zimmer tried, was under it, and swung and missed.
So here's Lindor with 2 outs. First pitch is a high strike. Hits tonight for Lindor. 1 for 7 in the series. Rolls that one foul off the tarp. So Hendricks jumps ahead 0-2 to the fine young shortstop Francisco Lindor, just 23 years old. Seagulls are moving around.
They were in right field. They found something better in left field.
Better hot dogs in left field. See, maybe they grill them in left and boil them in right. I would go to left. Well, I'm kind of a hot dog and the grill guy. Boiling's fine, but I would prefer them grilled.
That's right. They're grilled here. Jack, how many have you had tonight, Jack? Jack had 3 or 4.
See, that grill now, it's not working. It's disappointing to me.
Yeah, grilled hot dogs are good.
Yeah. Davis coming in, Simeon out. Chris Davis makes the catch. Good inning for Liam Hendricks. 7th inning stretch time on Rickey Henderson night here at the Coliseum. Still 3-2 Indians.
the Bay and the A's get a field level ticket to the Battle of the Bay game. That's against the Giants on July the 31st. A general admission field ticket to the Green Day concert at the Coliseum on August the 5th. And a one-of-a-kind A's Green Day t-shirt. That's all for just, what says, $89. $89 for all of that. That's a concert, a game against the Giants. T-shirt for $89. Supplies are limited. So right now, go to athletics.com/Green Day right now to lock up your package. He's ready. Got his sticks ready. He's going to rock out with Green Day. Should be a fun 2-game series.
Yep. Monday and a Tuesday in San Francisco. Wednesday night, Thursday night. So 4-game set total. Last year, the A's won 3 out of 4. And I just realized that's the trade deadline.
Yes, it
so
is.
that Monday night here will be the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So who knows? A lot of rumors around the A's and the Giants as well. 32nd career game with double-digit strikeouts, second in the American League. 18-1 in games with 10 or more strikeouts.
Ooh, it's not good.
So that's reason for concern.
Well, remember Jim Howard last night with Bark at the Park. Of course, president of Abbott said, hey, the A's are 9-2 on Bark at the Park. Now they're 10-2. Maybe Kluber can go less than a win with double-digit strikeouts. Look at the Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan. Had an insurmountable amount. That's a strike, folks, but got the call. See if he can take advantage. That was a swing.
Two pitches high, now 3-2. 90 pitches for Kluber. He'll go well over 100, not an issue for him. And Lowry swings and misses at what may have been ball 4.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So that'll be frustrating for Jed Lowry. See if this pitch is a little up.
Now batting designated hitter.
A bit of an uppercut swing by Jed.
Ryan Healy.
So 11 strikeouts for Kluber. Now the A's won the game last night 5-0. And that's really the only thing that matters. But they did strike out 13 times last night.
Okay, if you said earlier about a 3-2 count for Corey Kluber, I've got him for 4 3-2 counts, and guess what he's done on all 4? Strikeouts.
Sure.
Struck out the batter all 4 times. And what happens, I think, because hitters know he's around the plate, Jed Lowry's going to pitch out of the strike zone. Maybe just because of that.
You know what, too, he strikes me as a guy, Ray, who he has the ability to strike you out with 3 different pitches, and I think that affects a hitter.
Absolutely. And why you get a fastball. Yonder Alonso last inning got a curveball, struck him out on 3-2. Jed gets a fastball this time, but slight hesitation, maybe thinking other pitches, and gets the fastball out of the strike zone, swung at it anyway.
A little bit outside, so the count 1-2 to Healy, who has hit a fly ball to right and struck out. Hit hard. Lindor stays down. Throws across. Healy's out. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
And that was a hanger ready to be hit hard. Oh, by the way, Ricky Henderson did win.
Did he?
Yeah, he ran away with it. The man of steel just actually it's actually Ricky. That is Ricky, baby.
Really?
Wouldn't that be great if Ricky put the big head? I don't think Ricky would do that.
They're in the stands tonight.
Yeah. Oh, hey, they're the show, man. You know that. Big heads. But yeah, I think the one, I don't know, it was Eck or somebody ran into the umpire who was standing behind home plate, and maybe that was cause, maybe it planned to slow him down.
right on the outside corner first strike. 1-1 to Maxwell. Maxwell has struck out looking and swinging.
There he goes.
He doesn't run like Ricky though.
Maybe look at the big head. Maybe Ricky would have to run that way. You know, the big head.
So heading out to the bullpen for the Indians, is that the big left-hander? Yes, it is. That's Andrew Miller.
Well, approaching 100 pitches, 98 so far for Kluber. But the fact this is the 7th inning for Kluber, making his 99th pitch.
That one is lined foul down toward that Indians bullpen.
A great acquisition by the Indians at the trading deadline. Terry Francona used him, and I wouldn't say abused him. He just used him a lot in postseason, and Andrew Miller came through.
Listen, at that point, and it's the World Series where it's the end of October.
That's right.
Everybody's going to be.
That's right.
The arm's going to be dangling on almost everybody if you're a reliever.
Fastball. Okay, but remember when, of course, everybody talks about the trading deadline, who you going to get? The A's got one time a guy named Jim Messier, and it's like Andrew Miller. Jim Messier, everybody said, well, a reliever, but he was so important in the A's going down the stretch in postseason. And obviously what Andrew Miller did last year was off the charts. Changed the way bullpens work. The Royals did a couple years ago when they won the World Series. Everybody said, we want to be like the Royals in the bullpen. Well, same for Andrew Miller and the Tribe.
3-2 again, rolled foul. So here's an interesting note. Teams that have won the World Series after losing the previous year. Of course, the Royals did it a couple years ago. The A's lost in '88, won in '89.
Yep.
Yankees lost to the Reds in '76, won it in '77, and the Orioles bounced back and won it in 1970. That's interesting stuff. It's not the only time it's happened. It's happened 15 times. Strike 3 called. Maxwell knew it, and that's 12 strikeouts for Corey Kluber through 7 innings. 3-2 Indians as we head to the 8th.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition Petaluma. NPC athlete Lori Mathis is there to help you get in shape this summer.
Shibe Park Tavern, place to be. Right now, A's need a couple runs try to keep the deficit at just 1 run. 3-2. Daniel Coulombe comes in when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So Coulombe comes in to face Brantley, lefty on lefty. Encarnacion to follow, and then the switch hitter Jose Ramirez. Single walk, ground out for Brantley. He has scored a run. That was after the walk. He scored on Encarnacion's home run. Hendricks goes 1 inning, no hits, no runs, with a strikeout. Curve slapped foul.
Look at Aaron. Aaron down the bullpen. He works so hard. You know, pitchers talk about throwing an all-star break. I think Aaron worked on his fielding in the all-star break.
Sure.
So he's good. He's so confident down there. It's unbelievable. The guys in the clubhouse. Scotty. See Scotty shaved his head. He's not down on the field anymore. He was looking good down there, but decided to let it go. Cool it off a little bit.
Two and two to Brantley. Outside and now full count.
God, you said between innings about Corey Kluber, exactly right. The control of all his pitches.
Everything. Yep.
I mean, even the backdoor slider to Maxwell, fouled off a couple of fastballs, then threw a backdoor slider, caught the corner. 5 3-2 counts, 5 strikeouts, 3 called, third strikes.
Colombe's got to hustle over there, and a nice play. Yonder Alonso flipped it with his glove, and he made a beautiful flip, and that's out number 1.
Coulombe doing his job, getting over to first base, and Yonder Alonso took care of the rest of it. You will not see a better play. Circle around to make sure that he got in a position where he could use his glove around, and then just led Daniel Coulombe. That's not easy because of the size of the first baseman's mitt. Coulombe hustling over to first base where he's able to get there, and Yonder not only used just his glove, but he led him with the glove and the throw to Coulombe.
Encarnacion takes a strike.
See, I circled around. He went around to get the ball. So instead of trying to do a backhand, he got in front of it and made a nice flip over to Coulombe. And by the way, Andrew Miller is not throwing the bullpen, so we may be seeing Kluber again in the bottom of the 8th.
Last 5 home games for the A's bullpen. Lots of strikeouts, decent ERA. Last night, 3 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. Alonso has it, spins around, he'll hustle to first, and that's the second out. So a little action for Yonder Alonso here in the 8th inning.
Now batting.
Good look at the crowd. 33,021.
Coulombe that time almost got caught. Fortunately, it was Encarnacion running, and he was not running hard because Yonder was the only one on the right side. And he caught the ball and probably realized it was going to have to be him that took the bag himself, and he did it perfectly.
Base hit for Ramirez in the 6th inning. His hit put runners at first and third, and it led to a run, and that was the run that gave the Indians the lead back. Here he bats with nobody on and 2 outs. One hit. Lowry on the backhand, throw to first, and a good inning. 3 ground ball outs for Daniel Coulombe. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It'll be Chapman, Davis, and Joyce. 3-2 Indians. Toyota dealers. 3-5-0 for the Indians, 2-4-0 for the A's. So the A's a couple more chances against Kluber and the Indians bullpen. Kluber with 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. Blackburn tonight, 3 earned runs in 6 innings. Matt Chapman with his first big league home run. That came in the 3rd. It was a solo shot. Chapman's going to lead it off. He's had a big night. A homer, a double, and a couple of runs scored. And both those coming off of one of the best pitchers in the American League in Corey Kluber, and he has been on target tonight. Center field, and that baby's gone, and we're tied.
There's your fastball power. And Matt Chapman have a night. Started last night scoring from 3rd base instinctively on a short wild pitch. Tonight, a solo home run on a breaking ball, a double opposite field, and a solo home run straightaway center field. And just like Matt Olson, his first major league home run in Chicago and his first multi-home run game, same day. And Matt Chapman does it again.
And it certainly was interesting that Andrew Miller was trying to throw a little bit in the 7th inning, and it could be that he was just getting ready in case there was some type of jam. This one hit toward Brantley, who, hustling back near the warning track, makes the catch.
Just close your eyes. You don't have to watch this. Just listen. If we have it in real time. This is slow-mo. That's fastball 93. That's gone. I mean, just listen and you can tell Matt Chapman with his power, straightaway center, incoming, way up high, just below the sweets.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Not be named. It's on Saturday, July the 29th. It's the Witches and Wizards take over the ballpark for fireworks. It's presented by Xfinity. Following the Twins A's game at 6:05, fans come down to the field for a night of considerable magic and glee. Can't wait for that. Fireworks full of witches and wizards. What could be more enchanting? For tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets. You'll come and see considerable magic and glee.
It's official.
Dominic got it. Well, it's authenticated. That's the most important thing. He's got 2 of them. So now he's watching Andrew Miller, and we know what Miller can do. It's Miller time. And basically 2-pitch pitcher, slider, fastball.
Brantley has it for the second out. So terrific numbers again for Andrew Miller. No surprise. 3-2, 1.42 ERA, 67 strikeouts in 44 innings, just 20 hits allowed.
Marcus Semien.
So you know what you get with this guy.
Well, someone said, well, it's just a fastball slider, but his fastball is mid-90s. And his slider is thrown very hard.
It was 2012 when his career started to come together with the Red Sox out of the bullpen. He had a good year. And in 2013, he was really good. 2014, then he was traded to Baltimore. And at that point, he was a marquee reliever. Signed a big free agent contract with the Yankees. 7 1/3, no walks, 12 strikeouts. But Corey Kluber's going to get a no decision, and he'll probably be happy with the way he pitched, but maybe a little frustrated as well. The A's able to tie it on Chapman's home run here in the 8th.
That's a serious back foot slider there. And if you hold up on that, you're a pretty good hitter, and Marcus Semien did not offer at it.
That one tapped right at the plate. That's it on the left, Casilla on the right for the A's. They both pitched last night. Off the end of the bat, so that's that slider, and Miller will just keep throwing. And it doesn't matter if you're a right-handed hitter or left-handed hitter.
I think the biggest thing is the fastball that he throws very hard inside.
Those are the ranks among relievers since the 2015 season. You could probably make a strong argument that in the last 3 or 4 years that he's been the best reliever in the American League.
Absolutely.
He's been working on this. He's been working hard.
So hard.
Really
get the glove down. Come on, Aaron.
Maybe he wasn't working during the All-Star.
And he knows it. He knows it. I think he took a break during the All-Star break and didn't really work hard. That's not good. Especially when he's there to protect a pitcher.
Yeah, Madsen almost got a shin burger.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. He stayed with the slider, 82 miles an hour. Joe Side is retired, but Matt Chapman, what a night for the A's rookie third baseman, his second home run of the game. And this one tied it up against Corey Kluber. 9th inning coming up. It's a 3-3 ball game.
Folks, the first major league, a breaking ball. Matt Chapman, first major league home run left center field. That would give the A's a 1-0 lead. But the bigger one came last inning. Fastball straight away center. Look how far this ball hits above the batter's eye. So Matt Chapman with his first major league home run, first multi-home run game. And because of that, a tie game into the 9th inning.
Well, Corey Kluber, I'm going to no decision as he heads back to the Indians clubhouse. And Ryan Matson is the new pitcher. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Matson pitched last night. He pitched the 7th inning last night. He threw 20 pitches.
And the A's have to hope that the success the last 5 games at home for the bullpen continues tonight.
Matson gave up a hit last night in that 1 inning, and he struck out 3. Here he's going to face Santana, Gomes, and Naquin. Carlos Santana is 1 for 3. He's got a single and an RBI ground out. He swung at a ball. 2-2 the count. He's got a home run against Matson in his career. Also a couple of strikeouts, but only 5 at bats. Really not enough to tell you a whole lot. Pitch is hit high and foul to our left.
Beautiful sight.
Yeah.
I always think of the beautiful sunset. Zach Greinke signed with the Diamondbacks because of the sunsets. They're beautiful in here. $230 million.
On the ground, just foul.
Pat, did we ever hear why Mike Hampton decided to retire from the Seattle Mariners?
I just saw him.
We saw him in Seattle last weekend. The bullpen coach and announced his retirement during the break, walking away from
I saw that too, and it made me think, because walking to the bus, you walk right by the Mariners clubhouse, and he was standing outside the clubhouse.
Exactly. Maybe at that point he's contemplating calling it quits.
Must have been.
Something happened, and we wish him well, whatever. And Kobe Rasmus also decided to walk away from the game.
Two pitch. High fly ball. Rajay Davis is there. 1 out.
Tough sky right now with the twilight, which is always important to be able to pick up the ball. Fortunately, Santana got under that one. Sent it straight up to center field. But the sky at this time of the night,
number 7,
lights are on, but still at twilight. This should be about 4th inning of a 7:05 start, maybe.
One of those longer games. So here's Yan Gomes. Gomes bounces one off the glove of Matson, picked up by Simeon to the throw, and they got him.
Wow. Terry Francona, they may hold off on this one. And Terry out on the warning track just to take a look. When Matson hit it, fortunately, it deflected enough and hard enough to Simeon, who made a very quick throw. Nice stretch at first base. The good news, he was called out.
Number 30.
And Matson reaching back.
Naquin.
And it was going to be to his shortstop regardless. And Yonder Alonso with a nice stretch. Got him. Let's play baseball. Nice play by Simeon on the rebound. Wow. They are going to take a look. That seems a little. That last play looked like he got him about a full stride, didn't it? I mean,
well, I think there must be something else. Maybe Alonso's foot come off. Did he pull his foot early? I don't know. It wasn't on the foot hitting the bag.
No, was he clearly. Pushed off. Lance Diaz making the call. I didn't see anything. Is his foot off there? Maybe that's what they had to see. If that's
is under review.
But called him out because his foot, it looked like he pushed off in that illusion of being off the bag. But he's pushing off after he catches the ball. And first basemen are good about that. So that was a very quick challenge, but it was the 9th inning and nothing to lose for Terry Francona.
So 2 away. Here's Naquin. First pitch is a touch outside to Tyler Naquin, who has singled, grounded to second, and grounded to short. Foul back. Astros lost 4-2 at home to the Twins. The Rangers beat the Royals 1-0 in Kansas City, and the Mariners beat the White Sox 4-3 in Chicago. So Astros lose, Rangers win, Mariners win.
There's your sneaky fastball at 96 thanks to the Xfinity 95 Plus. And Ryan Madson, few changeups last night, just a couple of changeups, but that fastball, you can see the lateness of the swing by Naquin at 96, and that's why you think changeup with Ryan Madson, you get burnt with his fastball.
Strike 3 called with a fastball on the inside corner. So nicely done by Madson. A 3-up, 3-down inning, and we are headed to the bottom of the 9th. Let's hope it's walk-off time.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, what does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica.
So Miller facing Yonder Alonso here. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 9th. For the crowd. It's a good little buzz in the crowd right now.
It's reminiscent of the Cleveland Indians in the 90s when every sellout to 455 and not one person left. And it was this kind of a crowd then and what the A's are experiencing now, and many say the loudest here at the Coliseum with a crowd whenever they start cheering.
So check this out. Last road home run allowed by Andrew Miller. August of 2016. It was Jason Worth in Washington. And the numbers since: 7 hits, and he's faced 99 batters. 2-2 the count.
And his 2 former clubs this afternoon went 16 innings in Boston.
They did, yeah. Who won? The Yankees.
The Yankees 4-1 with a day-night doubleheader tomorrow. That'll be about 8 hours of baseball. Whew, that's in a normal 9 innings.
Slider, and it's 3-2. Chris Davis to follow, and then Lowry here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Andrew Miller throws the slider hard enough. He wants hitters to chase him. See if he does that. Of course, he has a 96 fastball he can throw as well.
And he walked in. Well, the A's have the winning run aboard with nobody out.
That is the 7th 3-2 count tonight. Terry Francona is going to go to his right-hander. 7th 3-2 count. Finally, the A's do something other than strike out.
So Shaw coming in. We'll be back. It's a 3-3 game here in the bottom of the 9th.
Park leave with a special Rooted in Oakland backpack. It's presented by Ross. 10,000 fans will receive this gift before seeing the A's take on the Indians. It's at 1:05 p.m. Tickets for the game start at $15. Have a day of fun, safe, and affordable entertainment at the A's game. Visit athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets. And Ricky Henderson jersey tonight, backpack tomorrow. A's trying to make it 2 in a row. Start the second half against a very good Cleveland Indians team. So it's Miller, Shaw, and Owlin. Those back 3 very good for Terry Francona. The A's have seen Miller. Now they see Brian Shaw. He also with a very good fastball. And a lot of cutters, which he just threw.
And it's a hard cutter. Almost looks like a slider. He can't throw it straight even if you paid him to do it. Good reliever, and he's been good for a while. 2.81 ERA. Is high, 2-0.
As they always say, you get to the 9th inning tie game, you get this part of the batting order. You don't ask somebody to do something he's never done. That's bunt for Chris Davis. And that's why the infield playing back all the way. Normally you would see in the bottom of the 9th inning a tie game, get a runner on base, nobody out, he's going to be bunting.
And now it's 3-0.
They don't have to.
Best bullpen ERA in the major leagues. Second fewest home runs allowed. And the A's are trying to beat it. And they got a chance to do it. That one in first try. Also, the Indians bullpen the 3rd fewest innings pitched in the American League. And that's important. inside corner. So a couple of cut fastballs that went to the inside corner. Great pitch if you can execute it.
And maybe not intentional, but it worked out right on the inside corner. Chris Davis started to swing, did not. Think it'll be a cutter.
And Davis had a good swing. Make sure you stay tuned for A's Postgame Live, presented by State Farm. After the ball game, Brody, Bip, and Dallas in the studio. So they're zeroed in on a monitor somewhere, I'm sure.
I'll take that cutter and go opposite field and see if Alonso can score for first base.
Davis, right center field, hit pretty well, and it is gone. It's gone. Chris Davis is walking off for the A's. Holy cow. So Chris Davis's 25th home run of the year is a walk-off, and the Athletics beat the Indians 5-3 on a night that the Indian starter was dominant, and the A's found a way to come back and win it, and that is a good victory for the home team.
And here's the cutter. It's outside, and there's Chris Davis with his power. It was headed to right center field. It just, with his power, nobody stronger than KD, and he takes it opposite field out, completely out to right center field. And what a night for the home run ball from Matt Chapman and Chris Davis on the left side of the field, and over and out in right center field. Unbelievable power.
Yeah, you just, I guess we should know better that it probably is going to go up, but you just weren't sure on that one. But boy, he is so strong.
Well, last year with a grand slam walk-off, he did a jump shot. This time he did a little bowling, it looked like, into the mats at home plate. But regardless, the A's got the win.
So 5-3 is the final, and I tell you what, Bob Melvin likes to play exciting games and likes to win in front of big crowds. There was over 33,000 tonight, and you cannot get a more exciting game than that, because really well-played game on both sides. But then when you get a comeback win against a terrific bullpen against the Indians, that's about as good as it gets.
You know the amazing thing, we talked about Kluber, 3-2 count. Andrew Miller had one. He had the second one, and he walked back. The first one in 7 batters with a 3-2 count. Turns out it's the walk that started the inning before KD hit the home run to the opposite field, and the A's were able to win it.
So Chris Davis is the hero tonight, but we think he's just one of the heroes. How about the night for Matt Chapman? 2 home runs, both against Kluber and Chapman, and Matt is standing by downstairs. Matt, congratulations. This is you were here for that Yankee series. You had some big hits, but tell us what's going on tonight and how much fun was tonight's game?
Tonight's game was so much fun. Obviously, a lot of fun. What a rook!
Wow.
Well, that should have been KD, but I guess I'll wear that for him.
Yeah, but listen, that's why you're here, because you are going to wear it, and we're happy that you are. Matt, you said not too long ago, when you walked, you felt you were starting to swing the bat and feel better at the plate. How much at times does a walk help you do what you did tonight, getting the 3 hits, 2 home runs?
Everything helps like that, just seeing some pitches, getting some timing down, and, you know, building your confidence back up. So all those little things and all the work you put in definitely help to get some more results that you're looking for on the field.
Well, you did this against Corey Kluber, is as good as there is. And as I look at my score sheet, Matt, every other player except you and Rajay Davis struck out against Kluber at least once. So you know he's good, but what were you seeing from him? Because obviously you were seeing the ball pretty well.
I don't know. I guess it's just one of those days. Just really was trying to focus in and take good at bats, and obviously as of late hasn't really been going how I wanted it to. So it's just nice to have some success, obviously off a pitcher, with a Cy Young under his belt. So I guess I don't really have any excuses the rest of the way out.
But I'll say this, and we can talk all you want about the home runs, but what you did last night when you were at third base, it was a wild pitch. Yan Gomes admitted today he did not realize the speed that you had, the instincts that you had. That pitch was not that far away. Talk about your baseball knowledge, basically, that you know instinctively you can score on a play like that, not that far away from the catcher. You took off quickly and you scored. How much of that is part of your game in addition to your great third base job?
That's definitely part of my game. I mean, anything that you can bring to the table to help the team win is definitely a positive asset. And with the base running, it's just helping your team score runs. But on that play, I knew that we had 2 outs and there was 2 strikes, and you might try and throw a ball that a chase pitch, get the strikeout, get out of the inning. So I was looking for a ball in the dirt or something to be aggressive on with 2 strikes, and I was anticipating it, and I saw it and just went for it.
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your first big league home run and a terrific performance tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so Matt Chapman, a couple of home runs. He also had a double and scored run. And you got to believe, Ray, that Matt has been struggling offensively, and you got to believe that a game like this is just going to let him stop, relax, and realize that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be okay. I just needed some good things to happen, and a bunch of good things happened for him tonight.
You look at his home run totals, the minor leagues. He's a Gold Glove third baseman in the minor leagues. Now he's proven everything here. Kid's going to be around for a long time.
All right, so 2 hours and 35 minutes, and each and every minute was a lot of fun. 33,021, a beautiful crowd tonight. A nice night, and it ended perfectly with a walk-off 5-3 A's win. It's time now for Brody Brazil and the guys in the studio.